What's up, fight fans? Welcome to Sportskeeda MMA's daily news roundup for March 10th. Kamaru Usman recently claimed that he once offered Conor McGregor a chance at the welterweight strap. In a recent interview with Shannon Sharp, Usman spoke about his willingness to fight UFC legends like Khabib Nurmagomedov and McGregor. Usman had this to say: "I would not fight Khabib. Khabib is like my brother. I see no interest in that. Conor, absolutely. I gave him a chance. He was barking because that's what he do now. He tweet a lot. We call him Twitter fingers now." He then gave details into calling McGregor's bluff. "So one time before I fought Masvidal, he was tweeting a lot. I said, here's your chance. If you pick up the phone right now and called the UFC, they ain't not gonna say no to you to challenge for the belt." Then he was quiet. And then the next week he started calling out Anderson Silva, retired fighters, and things like that. So would I fight Conor? The offer is there. McGregor fans can add yet another opponent to the list of suitors willing to welcome him back into the octagon. An Usman-McGregor headline would no doubt be colossal for the UFC, but for Usman, it might just be another notch under his legacy belt, and maybe even an easy one at that. Usman himself is not convinced that McGregor could achieve the same greatness he has before. He had this to say: "Once you start sleeping on silk sheets, the hustle is not the same. But now, sleeping on silk sheets, I have to say I still have that hustle. I still want to get up and go get it. I think it's on the individual. So with him, I don't know why he's not that successful. Maybe he's got a lot of little things going on." Would the UFC even consider letting McGregor face Usman, even though Uncle Dana believes he's too small for 170? Everyone's favorite shoey artist now sits among the top heavyweights in the world. Tai Tuivasa has called out former champ Stipe Miocic, and what a time to do so. The heavyweight division is in a bit of a limbo, with Francis Ngannou's knee injury that he sustained just before his title fight victory over Ciryl Gane at UFC 270. On top of that, who knows when Jon Jones will make his heavyweight debut. And with Stipe hoping to reclaim gold after a devastating KO loss to Ngannou at UFC 260, it would be an incredible opportunity to prove that he still belongs at the top by beating the man who put Derek Lewis to sleep. In an interview with MMA Junkie, Tuivasa made the call out: "It's definitely a fight that should be up next, especially the fight I want. I think the other guys are around the clock. I think we're gonna be around for a few more years. Out of respect, I think I'd love to share the ring with him, and I think I'm up there for a chance of it." Tuivasa was nothing but classy toward the former champ and continued: "Why not? Yeah, why not? I think he's a great fighter, someone I've watched for many years, and someone I'd definitely love to challenge myself against." How much do you think Tuivasa's momentum would factor in a fight against Stipe Miocic? Also, do you think Tuivasa is willing to drink beer out of Stipe's fireman boot? Kamaru Usman recently sat down with Brett Okamoto and revealed the only way he could potentially move up to middleweight and fight for the title. The idea once floated around the MMA world that Usman would fight Adesanya only if the UFC would pay them boxing super fight money, but now Usman is singing a different tune. He had this to say: "The problem is we can't do that simultaneously, because in order for him to go up, he has to relinquish that belt. He has to give up that belt first, then challenge at 205. The discussion of Adesanya's challenge for the light heavyweight strap once again came after Okamoto suggested that Usman try to become a double champ himself. And let's not forget Usman's belief that he could have beaten former 205 champ Jan Blachowicz. And what was the reason? Because I'm pound for pound. I want to prove it, no matter what weight it is. I thought he was a really good matchup for me." What do you think has to happen for Kamaru Usman to become double champion? Bryce Mitchell has been vocal about hot-button issues recently. Thug Nasty recently came under fire over his comments on the recent trucker protests in Canada over COVID-19 vaccine mandates. And then, just after UFC 272, Mitchell sat down at the post-fight press conference and expressed his concerns about the current Russia-Ukraine war, and even noted that he would die for his country. Tucker Carlson of Fox News covered Mitchell's comments and subsequently hosted him as a guest on his show. Carlson discussed Mitchell's patriotism and why some people who are honest in their opinions of socio-political issues are silenced. Carlson then asked Mitchell why he believes that the media pushes Americans to get behind the Russian war, and Mitchell had this to say: "I don't exactly know what their agenda is with the war on Russia, but I do know that all that money that's going to the Biden family through Hunter Biden, he doesn't have the merit for that position he's got over there. They've used our tax dollars to bribe him a job. If me or you did what Nancy Pelosi did and got millions in stocks, we'd go to prison for insider trading." He then continued: "I'm just not wanting to go waste my life fighting for some of these battles that I don't even believe in. These people are trying to destroy our country because they are profiting off the downfall of our country. My friends think that my life could be at risk because I'm coming out here and speaking the truth. That's the type of suppression and oppression that we're living in, brother." Do you think Bryce Mitchell's public comments could put his career or life at risk? And last but not least, Michael Bisping was recently a guest on the Joe Rogan Experience MMA show and talked shop with Rogan for 3 hours. The former middleweight champ is legendary for the manner in which he won gold by knocking out Luke Rockhold despite being a 21-4 underdog. Even more impressively, he did so with only one good eye. Bisping suffered from a detached retina in a fight with Vitor Belfort in 2013, and since then has been plagued by a condition known as strabismus. Bisping would discuss the circumstances around how he was medically cleared to fight, despite being partially blind, and he said this: "I did it with great difficulty. Lying, cheating, bullshit codes. I lied to so many doctors. Every time you fight, you're still gonna get checked by the doctors. Every time at the weigh-ins, so that was always very, very worrisome. They just didn't check very good." Rogan then asked if there was any hope for Bisping's eye, which prompted Bisping to remove his prosthetic lens, and he said, "No, if I cover up my good eye and the lights go on and off, the shade of blackness changes. I can tell when a light's gone on and off, that's it." That about does it for Sportskeeda MMA's most exciting news from the MMA world. Here is one final question for you fight fans. How different would Michael Bisping's career be if he never had an eye injury? Don't forget to subscribe and follow Sportskeeda MMA on all our social media platforms. I'm Alex, and as always, thanks for tuning in.